Well, well, well. It appears my superiority has led to some controversy. Imagine my shock. It's me, the evil one. Finally. Finally evil. I love it in here. Ah, man. I guess people don't like when you're a critic about stuff. Just the music real fast. Let's get some Time Ruins and the Lost Woods today. It's pretty nice. I really like this one. I really like this song. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. Well, we have a bunch of stuff for today. But let me start by mentioning, we'll get more in depth later, but the... Wait, let me order my stuff here. It's all over the place. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I'm just like that. People don't like when you're a critic of Monster Hunter. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock. Oh, how dare you. How dare you be against choices. But they don't understand that I am actually for choices. But mechanical choices. So funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh. But now, anyone can use any type of armor. Yeah, but they still have the same skills. They still have the same stats. Why not give them a different skill? Just one. Why don't tinker a little bit with the defenses, perhaps? Maybe? Mechanical choices? You're just going to use them as layered? You can have more depth in the gameplay. It's pretty good. But obviously, you cannot mention that the DEI company has a blue-haired community manager. I think it's funny. I think it's really funny. Oh man. Where's my browser? There you go. Is it working properly? I think it is. Speaking of funny stuff, I saw this the other day and I couldn't believe it. I don't know if this is good, bad, or just strange. For now, it's just strange. I appreciate it. Nonetheless. Chick-fil-A is launching a streaming service and the internet is balking at the idea. Don't you guys make chicken? That's weird. That's so strange to me. We'll go off the air on Sundays, which apparently Chick-fil-A doesn't work on Sundays. Interesting stuff. Oh man, I had something in my mouth, that was weird. By Joseph Lamour. During the movie, Chick-fil-A apparently wants you to be your one-stop shop. On August 21st, which was 3 days ago, Deadline reported that the fast food chain, known for its chicken sandwiches and banana pudding milkshakes, that sounds nice, is launching its own streaming platform, along with a slate of original programming. Okay, unexpected, but sure. Chick-fil-A has been reportedly working with a number of major production companies to create family-friendly shows, so I guess it cannot be a Chick-fil-A tuber. Chick-fil-A tuber? Tuba filet! Oh my god! Wait, hold up. No, I don't like that one. I don't like tuba filet. I mean, cannibalism, I'm pretty sure. That's frowned upon in most societies, I'm pretty sure. Not a good idea, not a good idea. Many of which will be reality TV. Reality TV is family friendly? I guess some can be. It's also in talks to license and acquire content. Discussions of scripted content and animation are also apparently on the table. Interesting. According to Deadline, this includes a family-friendly game show from the company behind NBC's The Wall. Build a wall. No, probably not. As well as Sugar 23, the same production company behind series including 13 Reasons Why, The OA, and True Detective. I don't watch TV, only True Detective sounds familiar to me. There were reports that the Sugar 23 produced show has secured the 10-episode order. Not bad, not bad. There's until deadline that the chain is thinking of a late 2024 launch. That's kind of soon, sooner than I expected. I read this before, but I don't remember everything. I only remember some stuff. I mean, it is already in the second half of 2024, so that's funny. Chick-fil-A declined Today.com's request for comment. I wonder why. Maybe they didn't look at the email. That can happen, I guess. But this isn't the first time Chick-fil-A has gone down this programming path. In 2021, it produced a series of short animated films called Stories of Our Evergreen Hills. Sonic? Oh, hold up, no, that was just Green Hills. Simpsons? Oh wait, hold up, that was Evergreen Terrace, right? That's fine. Plus, Chick-fil-A is owned by the Cathy family, whose independently managed trust helped found Trilith Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. The studio frequently works with Marvel, and it is where WandaVision, Loki, and Ant-Man were filmed. That's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. So some Disney bucks right there. Social media users, as you can imagine, had plenty of thoughts on the chicken chain's latest venture into entertainment. Wait, what? Wrote one Instagram commenter, mirroring the surprise felt by many other commenters. That's out of the blue. That's interesting. Stream what? Just about religion? Asked another. For context, Chick-fil-A's founder asked Truth Cathy's devout Christian beliefs have influenced many of the company's values. I guess they don't like that one, huh? I guess they don't like that one. No, because you'll be off the air on Sundays, joked another Instagram user, wondering if the chain's streaming service would mirror its restaurant's close on Sunday policy. It's the day of the Lord, come on. Get real with me. Let me guess, it's all chick flicks? Joke one more. It's scoring year, you cannot say that, it's illegal. It's a Chick-fil-A original movie, Liz, posted by a user on Twitter, along with a picture of 30 Rock character Gemma Maroney Jane Krakowski. Polish names, they always get me. Actor who frequently starred in peculiar and upbeat films, music, and commercials. This woman, I suppose, she doesn't look familiar to me. Maybe I've seen her, I don't know. If Chick-fil-A can afford to spend millions of dollars on a streaming platform, they can afford to pay their workers a living wage, wrote another Twitter user. Chick-fil-A restaurants are individually owned and operated by franchisees. My bad, there was another E there, I didn't see it. The average hourly rate for an employee is about $13.43. I guess that's low, I have no idea. I don't know how it works in the US, not gonna lie. But it's always so easy to say, pay the workers a living wage. And they don't understand the consequences to that. I'm not a big economy guy, but yeah, sometimes you cannot do that because everything else is gonna be more expensive now. And that is an absolute bomb for the economy. I'm not saying that's the case here, but there's always room for nuance, right? I guess it is in the cross between the Hallmark Channel and the Worship Network, credited one Reddit user. Reddit, as expected. As long as they're not publicly traded, they can do whatever they want with their money. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, let's be real, pretty much. And if they are publicly traded, I guess there's always more complexity, right? Because it always depends on, I want to say shareholders, but we know that nowadays it's also stakeholders, which is a term I'm not really that fond of. So sad. I cannot be a chick-fil-a. I still think the name is hilarious. Not gonna lie. Absolutely hilarious. It will be interesting. I wonder now if they will have some sort of combo prices, right? Where you get some service and some chicken, and you just pay a bundle. Huh. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. Oh man, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. Everything revolves around chicken, maybe. Chicken's really nice, though. I had some chicken today. It was tasty, but holy shit. It was a little bit dry at the end. I had some trouble finishing it. Chicken good. I like chicken. And you know that chicken is the best food, because I'm pretty sure there's no religion against chicken. I might be wrong. Ah shit, hold up. Yeah, aren't Buddhists vegan? Or some sects of Buddhism? That sounds familiar. I don't know, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they can appreciate some chicken flavored tofu. That makes sense to me. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of today, because it's actually pretty long. I have a lot of stuff aside from that, but it's been a beautiful disaster and I love it. I absolutely love it. Here we go. Star Wars stands blame cancellation of the Acolyte on everything but ratings. I'm really tired of sharing the franchise love with toxic, misogynistic, immature racists. So funny. So funny. Also, they will mention that here, but apparently the Acolyte is dead. Excuse me. The Acolyte is dead. No season 2. I wonder why. Maybe we'll see a little bit about the ratings in this article. I'm pretty sure we do. Instead of directing their anger towards the actual reasons behind the show's failure, namely Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland, or literally anyone else involved in its production, devastated current era Star Wars stans. I don't like the term stan. I guess the name is Stan, it's not that bad, but the term, not a big fan. Are blaming Disney's decision to cancel The Acolyte on such concepts as racism and misogyny. Are we sure it's racism and misogyny and not because it was bad? I don't know, that could be the case, you know? That could be the case. Imagine. August 19th, which was Monday? Tuesday? Monday. A month following the show's season finale, Deadline's Nellie Andreeva reportedly learned from her inside sources that, after just one season, the House of Mouses had made the call to axe the Acolyte. So sad. So sad. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many? Not that many, I guess. Despite absolutely abysmal viewership numbers representing a terrible return on Disney's $180 million product budget investment, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Gripping stands have taken to claiming that the decision to cancel the widely panned series was actually the result of the company choosing to cater to supposed legion of Star Wars fans who could not handle a story not centered on white males. If that was the case, they wouldn't wait to the Acolyte for that, right? I mean, they have been doing weird stuff with their productions for many years already. Very strange. I think most of modern day Star Wars actually caters to the OG fans, the white males, if you wish. But you don't have to be white to enjoy it, you know, but some people have to part of that. They're not racist, by the way. They're not racist. It wasn't about the numbers, they just showed how incredibly racist and sexist they actually are, and unless they do something immediately to rectify this mess, they're never getting any new Star Wars fans ever again. For some snooping proclaimed. Do you really think they're getting more fans than they're losing? I have no idea, but it didn't seem to me like a winning strat, you know? Interesting. Let's see the numbers here. It did what it was supposed to do for its final week at Star Wars. Hashtag the Acolyte. Hashtag renew the Acolyte. Hashtag save the Acolyte. You see the Acolyte here. Pretty low. Lower than a bunch of stuff I don't know about. I know about The Boys, I know about Cobra Kai. Love Island sounds familiar to me. I don't know what The Bear is. And what Evil is, well, not the series or movie, you know. So, yeah, at the end of the day, people were not watching this. So surprising. But I was told that people love this. What happened? So strange. Darth Molly claimed it was racism, it was the ratings. It's a weak argument, because the loudest haters were the racist misogynists encouraging people to trash the show, but whatever. How are you going to convince someone that likes the show to trash it? That doesn't make any sense to me. Sounds weird, at least. So there's that. Interestingly, the show with probably the most POC representation is the first to get axed. Rosemary, noted, made the Space Witches booty hex on Bob Iger and the toxic racist. Racists, in plural, I suppose. The review bombed the show. I didn't watch this thing, but I've seen a couple of clips, right? And this chick here, I think it was this chick here, was supposed to be twins or something. I'm going to assume it's this one. Her acting, how to say this, in terms of acting, we have no acting. So that can be a big problem, not gonna lie. A pretty obvious one. So there's that. When you had the subtitles for blind people describing the scene, how she changed her face expression. And you look at the chick, and she still looks the same. Look, some people can work with that. Not everyone can be John Wayne. I'm sorry to tell you this. Not everyone can be John Wayne. It's fine. Guess on the Acolyte because of the racist and sexist dude bros. Dude bros! I find that term so funny. I don't even know what it means anymore. It probably just evolved to people I don't like. In such cases. But the Star Wars fandom couldn't shut their fucking mouths, it's just pathetic. Marth exclaimed. Screw you, Disney, I'm so for real? I'm so French? What's happening here? Summers. I don't understand their speech. I just roll with it. Wish and List tweeted, the Acolyte getting cancelled is actually so evil. No, Evil was another series, right? It's right here. It's also funny that I had more minutes watched. Funny how it works. Especially so evil. Everything about it was so cool, and so Star Wars. Telling a story from an era there isn't really any visual media about. And because a bunch of racist bigots couldn't bear to watch someone not white for a couple hours, it's over. For sure you're missing a comma here. Not to be too pedantic, but that seems a little bit weird to me. Also pretty sure it's not because they're not white in the series. One of the things I've seen people complaining a lot about is, or was, but why are the Jedi evil though? Why are they evil? Why are we supposed to cheer for the Sith? That doesn't make any sense. They're supposed to be the bad guys. People identify themselves with evil people, with monsters. Happens all the time, I don't know why. So strange. Amy expressed, I'm pretty tired of sharing the franchise alive with toxic, misogynistic, immature racists and casually seeing them be catered to, even though the rest of us have been here all along, wanting new and fresh stories that connect deeply with all of us. I'm gonna call shenanigans on that one. Wanting new and fresh stories that connect deeply with all of us. That doesn't make any sense to me. Science fiction! Are you supposed to connect deeply with that? I mean, sure, the characters still have personalities and values, but we all know what they mean when they say connect deeply. It's just because of the color of their skin or their sex. Which is probably reductive, and I do believe that is actually racist. I don't know, you can... Once again, you can identify yourself with any character as long as... I don't want to say they're good, right? But as long as they have something, some value, some personality traits that you can identify with. If you can only identify with a character because, oh, they black, oh, they woman, oh, they gay. That's a little bit sad. That is a little bit sad. Let the Pratt world went as far as to bizarrely blame Star Wars creator George Lucas for the entire affair. I don't think he's working on anything Star Wars related. Claiming if he had given women other than Princess Leia more than 63 only thinking about sex lately, Jesus Christ, seconds of speaking time in the original trilogy, Lucasfilms wouldn't be held hostage by the worst racist incel parts of the fandom. The Acolyte deserved better. Have we all forgotten about the sequels? They had some women yapping there, you know? They were not good characters in general, but it's been a while since they were released. So, if Star Wars was actually catering to, let's say, the Dude Bros, that's the only term I remember now, maybe, and only maybe, they would have done that way sooner than this. I don't know what to tell you. That makes sense to me, at least. That they acknowledge Star Wars has been directionless and derivative for a while. The Midlands declared that canceling the Acolyte just reaffirms that the franchise will keep catering to the racist, plus sexist Dude Bros. I keep saying Dude Bros, what the fuck? At the expense of creativity. What? Are you implying that you can only be creative while making a series if you add minorities? That doesn't make any sense to me. Huh. Huh. The hell? They're too deep in the sauce here, I'm afraid. This end, some angry fans went so far as to predict that the Acolyte's cancellation will in turn lead to nothing but more unoriginal and possibly AI-generated Star Wars productions. Okay, now we can go back to more Baby Yodas, random white dude in mask, and more AI deepfake Luke Skywalker. Big win to Star Wars! Must be once an Acolyte, sarcastically declared. I mean, nostalgia baiting, it's nothing new. And I guess most people just roll their eyes when that happens, right? Oh, Baby Yoda. Random white dude in mask. I don't think that guy looked all that white, honestly. I remember watching a long time ago was it the Clone Wars? I don't remember the names. The second prequel, right? That the guy looked Latino to me. Are they white adjacent now? Tina Rose cannot catch a break. Holy shit, dude. Planet Sharing warned the way Star Wars is going to be... Huh? Hold up. The way Star Wars is going to be nothing but deepfake AI characters in a cooing grim puppet for the next 20 years because a bunch of 40-year-old YouTubers thought there was too many women in the show is absolutely crazy. Yeah, this is all over the place. Missing commas, not using proper numbers and all that. We understand the message though. The message. 40-year-old YouTubers. I think that's funny. I think that's funny, right? Because I'm not trying to disparage anyone that comes late to Star Wars. They're kind of old, okay? But I'm gonna say these 40-year-old YouTubers have been fans of the franchise since the beginning. So they might have something important to say, you know? In terms of acting, we have no acting. So silly. Also, the thirst trap this guy was. Look at him. Look at him. Oh man, he's washing himself. No, what a whore! Likewise, comic Esper lamented the direction Star Wars is going now. Okay. So here's the typo. We can see it in here. Guys, please, you need proofreading. In the next 20 years, all Star Wars will be on the biggest screen is a CGI. Just not that uncommon, to be fair. AI, necromancy, clusterfuck. All because some misogynistic, racist, 40-year-old insults couldn't let it grow past the Clone Wars or the blight that is the Skywalker name. I don't know, man. People have been wanting something, maybe a movie, maybe a series, about Darth Throne for a long ass time. I'm pretty sure we're just saying stuff at this point. I'm pretty sure we're just saying stuff now. Oh man. I guess that happens. Oh, that looks weird. It looks like this saber has something here. What the hell? Oh, it's the guy behind! Holy shit, I'm blind. Yeah, I think... Yeah, it's a weird poster, but that's okay. Let's see what the experts say here. From Micah Smith, just 37 minutes ago. Despite absolutely abysmal viewership numbers, it's a quote. Unless someone else has the nerve to put things in perspective, good on him. When Resist boycott a TV series, there's always the inevitable result. Huh? I'm not quite sure what this guy is trying to say here. I might be a little bit slow. Happens sometimes. I found myself to try watching it. A few Facebook friends loved it. They're also Democrats. Is this a comorbidity now? I am not. I thought this story was horrible. And the acting made me want to just throw a brick through my TV. Don't do it. It's not gonna work. You're going to break your TV. It's expensive, don't do it. Companies/activists that want to push socio-political agendas or change the very nature of what Star Wars is nothing for me. Subsect of romance novels are not actual Star Wars fans. The reality was the writing was an abomination. The performances were horrendous. That's being generous. Holy shit, that's rough. The CGI certainly never represented the $180 million price tag. And playing with canon is hated. It was dead on arrival before the first episode because they went after weight and salt, muck, and trash the bulk of the existing fanbase in order to appeal to a fanbase they simply don't have. The proof of that is in the numbers. Yeah, apparently so, man. Apparently so. So strange, man. So strange. It keeps happening. Oh, man. But they will tell. They keep telling you. Oh, but the modern audiences. The modern audiences. They love this stuff. Oh, it's so good. Mm-mm-mm. So delicious. And they will hit you with this. This might not be the best example, but it ties on the next one. Firework Studios, they've revealed saying Conqueror Dev Time. This game took around 8 years to make. 8 years? 8 years! Firework Studios took 8 years and the end result is Conquer? Seriously? Yeah, apparently so. Look at this. Look at this fella. It looks fantastic, man. What are you talking about? It looks great. Ah, man. This particular baffling and laughable insight into the upcoming, largely unwanted title was brought to light by its lead character designer, John Wisniewski, sharing a series of celebratory posts in his personal Twitter account on August 20th, in honor of the game's official release to purchasers of its deluxe edition. The designer asserted, "Today, Firework Studios launched Play Conquered. The game has been in development for around 8 years, and I've been there for most 5 of them. We don't get a lot of launch days in our careers. Today is special for a ton of reasons. Flash me some good vibes today." Probably not. Probably not gonna happen. I think Reason is being invited into a position of creative trust on a new experience. He continued, "Obviously it's your group effort. Having a seat at the table with others who inspire you and push you to do your best is a tremendous privilege. That trust gave the game so much identity. Push you to do your best. If this is your best, we don't want to see the worst." Honestly. Turn to praise his team for the contributions. Wisniewski then beamed, more personally feel so lucky to have had another run at game design with my longtime friends and colleges, these people. I'm not going to read their ads, I don't care enough. Close friends, wonderful people, and literally some of the best developers in the world. How to believe it? They said it has to be true. Conquer has so much humanity and depth to it, he concluded. I really hope people give it a shot. Insanely proud of the game, and we're strapped in, and ready to push it for years to come. Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? It's not looking good, man. Again, I hate to repeat myself, but 8 years? This insane timeline aside, these tweets provide some interesting hints regarding the apparently bumpy and disastrous road that was Concor's dev cycle. Oh, baby. Well, to be fair, the coup happened, okay? That affected pretty much everyone. First off, a quick run of Wisniewski math, closing the game's green light date sometime in 2016, the exact same year as what many would arguably consider final title of the hero shooter genre, Overwatch. Oh, maybe they wanted to make a copy. 8 years to make a copy, it is too much. It is way too much. You don't know how things are going to change. We saw that with MOBAs. It's nothing new. I'm pretty sure we saw that too with Battle Royales. I guess Fortnite is still a thing. But many of them came and went. Just like some wind. I want to be a little bit poetic there, it didn't work. It didn't work. I messed up, it happens. Second, the fact that the game's lead designer did not join the project until roughly 3 years into its production suggests that, at that point in its existence, Firework Studios decided to make a huge change regarding its overall direction. It's rough. That's rough for a new game. If you have an established IP, you can fuck around a little bit. You have room to fuck around. This being a new IP? Oof. Not good, man. Not good at all. The following is pure speculation, but in light of these two facts, it would seem that after starting life as an Overwatch imitator, someone at either Firework Studios or PlayStation realized that Concord... They're missing a C here, dude. Please, come on. Come on. Concord's initial form would be unable to compete with Blizzard's then top-tier product. Then top-tier product. How the mighty have fallen. Sad to see. And given what the game has turned out to be, it seems that the resulting solution was to copy Guardians of the Galaxy in tone and atmosphere, and putting emphasis on representation. Bold strategy, not gonna lie. Stepping back from Concord's specific problems, the fact that this game took so long to develop is symptomatic of an ever-growing trend of developers, both Western and Eastern, spending absolutely way too much time on a single title. And I do not agree with this, okay? I do not agree with this. You can spend a lot of time in a title, but you cannot spend a lot of time in every title. I think that makes sense, right? The Zelda games usually have really long developing time. And when they release, even though I'm not a big fan of changes to the formula in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the games were successful, they look good, and people like them. Yeah, we're talking about an AP from the 80s. From the 80s. Also, 8 years, it is a massive money sink. Look, we all know about DEI funding. I don't know if they are gonna have pockets this deep, okay? If they do, well, I don't know what to say. I don't think so, okay? I don't think so. Oh, I think it was the other game, and not this one. I think I have that pulled up. So sad. The fact of the matter is, absolutely no game needs to spend that long in development. I do agree, 8 years is a long time, but it can still be a good game and a successful game. So, really depends. It is really nuanced, in my opinion. Everything so only opens up the game to more problems than such an extended calendar might solve. Fair point. Including a loss of audience interest in either a specific IP or genre. Or genre. Yeah, I do agree with this. Insanely inflated budgets that in turn require insanely high sales. Thus leading to many publishers to choose to only publish some winners, instead of taking risks and experimenting. Let's back around a little bit. Even if the game is not photorealistic, it's fine. I don't like that trend either. Games can just be silly from time to time, you know? It's okay. There we go. And perhaps, worst of all, giving them stuck working on stinkers instead of allowing them to try again with a new one. Also fair. 8 years and in depth if it, and that's it. I need to take a sip. "8 years, and if it ends up being a massive failure, that is a huge hit for anyone. That is really rough. Funnily enough, you know what other game took almost 8 years to develop? Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Really? That's surprising, I didn't know that. Before reading this, I mean. And as we all now know, even 7 years into Cooker couldn't stop that game from being one of the worst produced in the modern era. I'm looking at this. This is Ruiz. And this just looks like the Fields meme. You know what I'm saying? Take out the glasses, shorter hair. It's just the Fields meme. What the hell? So weird. So weird. As stated above, Concord is now available to players who purchase the game's deluxe edition. Meanwhile, everyone else will have to wait until August 23rd to not play, which was yesterday. Funny how that works. And I am seeing here the Guardians of the Galaxy comparisons. Might be just a coinkydunk, but yeah, I'm getting some wacky Disney vibes here. 8 years for a shiny rainbow-colored steaming pile. so rough, dude. So rough. I'm not reading all of that. I'm sorry, man. But I thought with Sonic and keep going like this the long enough time. It's too much. It's too much. And yeah, the numbers are not looking good. So yeah, there's that. I've never seen anyone talk about the gameplay, so that is also interesting. I'm assuming it is still some sort of hero shooter. That makes sense to me. And speaking of games that are really doing not that well, we have here Woke Media attempt to convince gamers to buy Dustborn. It's not working. So sad. Big players was like 87, 88, something like that. It's rough, man, it's rough. Numerous Woke gaming and media outlets are attempting to convince gamers to purchase Red Thread Games' radical left-wing political adventure game, Dustborn. However, it appears to be having no effect whatsoever, as gamers have outright rejected the game. I wonder why. I wonder why. They told me people like this. What's happening? I don't get it. Hello, Valachi. I guess that's Valachi, right? That looks Italian to me. Over at Games Radar explains the game's story. Dustborn is first and foremost a visual novel of sorts, where you play as Pax East, who teams up with a group of friends and strangers to deliver a valuable package towards the Republic of America, the resistance movement in Canada, while pretending to be a touring punk band called the Dustborn. All this is to hopefully be free of the oppression in danger of a fascist broken America. Big bad, evil guy, orange man perhaps? Wouldn't be surprised. And Valachi has high praise for this, combined with its doubly sustained length, the sheer amount of topics and issues it wants to address, this growing cast of colorful rainbow people characters, it almost lives up to its promising epic political road trip saga about people with superpowers. Ah, they have superpowers. That's interesting. I'm not sure if these guys are supposed to be robots or just generic soldier people. Hard to tell with his helmet, honestly. Hard to tell. I don't know. Over at Forbes, Matt Gardner admits Dustborn is among the most unrepentantly liberal and left-leaning games out there. Too left-leaning? For the left wing? Now that's saying something here. Holy shit. Nevertheless, he also attempts to convince readers to purchase the game by claiming you just need to have an open mind. You just need to have an open mind. My voice was dying there, what else new? If you have an open mind and you're willing to give it time to grow, Dustborn is a fun trip, even if it occasionally feels like it's trying to be a bit too edgy for its own good. That happens. Especially for the type of people who will immediately click with its socio-political outlook. Of course I know them. They're me. Too edgy for you, commie boy. Fun thing to say, but also, I don't get it. A bit too edgy. Weren't you guys supposed to be, like, edgy in your own way? I don't know, it's so strange. Diego Nicolás at Polygon aptly describes the game. The road trip story begins with a group of 4 30-year-olds inside the minivan, making their escape after a heist. The mission is to make it across an alternate reality version of the United States. At least they acknowledge it's not the actual US, okay? It's not the fascistic republic. Yet, I guess it could happen at some point. They eventually deliver their stolen package in Nova Scotia, Canada. The biggest obstacle is avoiding surveillance from justice. Cubas? A fascist regime... No, I guess not. A fascist regime that's particularly interested in persecuting nobles. I guess that's just, like, mutants. There are people who can speak certain words to invoke special powers after a mysterious event that took place decades ago. So they have power words. Now that's funny. Now that's funny, man. What can you say? It's funny to me. He later acknowledges, as much as Dustborn leans into its science fiction setting, its story is told from a viewpoint that has clear parallels to reality. Black people have superpowers? Holy shit, that's cool as fuck. There are nods to jokes like, my husband and I saw you from across the bar, as well as mentions of woke mind virus, speeches, and how blatantly stupid they are. Are they though? Sooner to Gardner, Arguello concludes his review writing. A game informed by decisions, the most gratifying choices didn't involve the right answer. They were about getting a different perspective. That can work, I guess. That can work. If the game is good, obviously. 83 in this screenshot. It's not much more than this. I think the highest could be like 88. It's not saying much. Despite the outlets and writers attempting to sell this title to their readers, it appears they have had absolutely zero effect. As of writing, there are only 35 people playing the game, and the game's peak concurrent player numbers only hit 83, when the game initially went on sale on Steam. Sad to see, baby, sad to see. Well, they do have a road here, at least. In contrast, the game was added to Career Rambo's Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam Curator list, as well as his DEI Detected website. He describes the game, Dustborn is basically the AI game. Yeah, apparently. It has everything you could hope from a DEI game. Forced diversity, virtue signaling, self-insertions, woke political agenda being forced down the player's throat, a bunch of alphabet people, and they-thems. Impressive. Yes, it also features the most soy-filled combat mechanic I've ever seen. You fight with the power of words. Magicians? I guess not. Yes, in this game, words can hurt, and the whole combat system revolves around this premise. They don't even try hiding it. Do they? I guess not. It hurt so much. Dustborn appears to be the latest in a growing list of games that are identified as DI infested, like Career's Rambo, and others that gamers are simply refusing to purchase. The list includes, but it's not limited to, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Forspoken, Death of Kinsara, Thou, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake. I wonder if they call it Alan Woke, I suppose. It's a change of name. What do you make of gamers not purchasing the game, despite the social media outlets trying to convince them to? Maybe the game is bad. Imagine. Maybe the game is bad. Also, let me take a look here at the comments. They can have really creative language that we don't like. So I need to take a look first. That ruins, man. So nice. So nice. Okay, I think this might be okay. This might be okay. I've officially been kicked off of Game Facts for mocking this game. Guess my 20 years of patronage don't mean anything when the site's been taken over by the same people defending this game. I still listen for the guide sometimes, but maybe I shouldn't, you know? I gave divorce after getting a 6-month ban on my 20-plus-year-old account, just for mocking a hinge woke take. OG Persona 3 Bikini Sing caused the death of hundreds of trans people. They have reached a level of moderators. It's gone. Huh? Is gaming this powerful? Huh? Is it possible to learn this technique? It was called at first, and a poster after 15 years of simping guilty gear because he called Ishiwatari a speculator who cares more about the Western press than what hits fans. Oh god, the prejudice stuff, I remember that. You tear out the man's tongue. You're not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. Good points all around. And speaking of stuff that people might fear. This is so ass. Ah, the media literacy bunch. Fallout subreddit reportedly deletes post sharing franchise co-creator Tim Kaine, rejecting idea that the series is a critique of capitalism. I don't know too much about Fallout, but we all know war. War never changes. That's Fallout, right? Yeah, I don't have that much experience with Western games, and it shows. The Fallout subreddit reportedly deleted a post sharing franchise co-creator Tim Kaine's comments that this series is not a critique of capitalism. Kaine recently shared his thoughts in the comment section of his most recent YouTube upload titled Capitalism. Bullshit. That's pretty telling, not gonna lie. We're not gonna watch it, okay? A user commented on the video writing, "This is interesting. I believe that in a capitalist environment, those who create financial power will always try to capitalize the audience's behavior, one way or another. More so in times like this when they hear and watch everything we do. Is this real life? So scared, dude. What the fuck? But in a way that the public's behavior of trying to get away with petty stuff actually helps the capitalist system to stay in place." He then questioned, "Was there any of this ever present in your original ideas for Fallout? To me, the game struck as a critique on capitalist/corporative greed, all tech and others, and an excessive militarization, but I've seen on some articles they have debunked this." Debunked! How much of that is true? He responded, "Critique of capitalism was never the point of Fallout. In fact, the game went out of its way to mention that other countries like China were also behaving terribly. If anything, Fallout is a comment that war is inevitable, given basic human nature." Yeah, that's it. I don't believe that war is inevitable, given basic human nature. But that's pretty cool. King added a follow-up. Excuse me. I'm a little bit stuffy now. "I don't think I have any themes that run in common in all my games. Maybe mistrust of power, which makes sense. But as you've seen, people will interpret my games in all kinds of ways, and that's okay. Is this guy coping? Everyone brings their own perspective, and the story can mean different things to different people. Sure, that makes sense to me. But at the same time, you will have the usual suspects with the media literacy. The media literacy. Don't you understand that everything is shitting on capitalism? Maybe they were wrong, after all. As reported by Legacy Killer HD on Twitter, a post featuring a screenshot of Kaine's initial comment along with a message that reads, "Some of you need to understand this," was deleted from the Fallout subreddit. Red months are deleting one of the Fallout creators' remarks that the game is about war, not capitalism. Interesting. This comes from Kaine about a month after he addressed whether he would be interested in returning to Fallout. In a video upload to his channel, he explained how the question, "Will it work in Fallout again?" is a multi-layered question. That makes sense, I guess. He said, "There's a lot of different questions being asked here. Are you asking me, would you want to remake Fallout as a 3D game? Are you asking me, would you want to make a Fallout offshoot? You know, like Fallout New Vegas is? It's not numerical one of the Fallouts, it's just, here's Fallout, in a new place. Do you want to make Fallout 5? He continued, "So the answer is complicated, because it's not what you think. I'm not talking about, yeah, but it depends on what kind of authority you have, or it depends on who's in charge of, or whatever." That can be a problem, to be fair. I don't know if this guy cares. Apparently he does not. No, it has nothing to do with that. King stated. The full-on didn't watch, I assume. Is that every RPG I've ever made offered me something new and different that got me interested in making it. It had nothing to do with money, power, authority, role in the game. This guy's just passionate then. That's pretty cool. It was the game itself that offered me something interesting that made me go, oh, I want to do that. I've never done that. That's cool. Yeah, this game is really dated. It makes sense. 1998. Doesn't look that bad for 1998 in my opinion, actually. After briefly going over his career and explaining why he decided to work on the games that he did, Kane said, if someone came to me and said, you want to make a Fallout game, my answer is, well, what's new? I didn't even want to make Fallout 2. Why would I want to make a new Fallout game? What's different about it? New story? Makes sense to me. He added, would this be something I haven't been interested in doing because it's different? Maybe this guy wants a little bit more in depth than just new story. That's cool, that makes sense. Kane reiterated as he concluded the video, so when people ask me, would you work on Fallout? The first question out of my mouth would be, what's new about it? If you're not having a immediate answer, if you had to go, well, when am I putting a new perk? Yeah, I'm probably not interested. So that's probably as close as you'll ever get from me on whether or not I would work on Fallout. I guess there's a typo here. It's fine. I feel they don't make so many mistakes in this one. What do you make of the Fallout server deleting the post showing Kane's comments? Well, that's weird. That's weird. Why wouldn't they respect the vision of the author? So curious, as you ask me, not gonna lie. Okay, let's see. Let's bring this up again. I think there are no gaming words in here. Forget it, Jake. It's shredded. Not only that, I remember an article by Russian libertarians where they twisted the game's criticism of war into the opposite direction, saying that the authors were attacking communism. Funny how that works, huh? Funny how that works. Communists don't take kindly to economic systems that actually work. Wow. Imagine my shock. Any wonder that wokies are obsessed with... Wokies are not wokies, right? Yeah. Are obsessed with criticizing capitalism everywhere. Not always as an inhuman system, but don't care about criticizing war as a threat to civilization. And you know, capitalism bad. I guess. Not saying much, but still. It's so rough. It's so rough. Okay, what is the next one? I don't remember. Oh, it's this one. Yeah. This one is nice. But not everything is bad. Okay, not everything is bad in this world. We have Monkey Game. Monkey! Which apparently has been a massive success. I do fear that some people fell for the CCP propaganda, but at least the game seems to be actually good. So, it's just whatever. Just don't buy it because they tell you, it's anti-DI. That's not the reason to buy the game. The game has to be good, and you have to want to buy it because you want to play it. Something that people forget. On both sides, which is sad but true. That eSports Associate Editor Tom Foley reaches at Black Myth Wukong. Developers and demands game include more diversity. Yeah, I don't think China cares about that one, you know. 10 million copies sold already. That is really good. I'm pretty sure this is new IP. So, pretty nice, pretty nice. And the eSports Associate Editor Tom Foley, who previously worked at CBR, because of course, Richard Black Myth Wukong developer Game Science. Game Science, that's a cool name. Simple but cool. And demanded they include more diversity in the game. In the article titled Black Myth Wukong's shameless lack of diversity is attracting the wrong type of fans. No, I think it's attracting a lot of fans in general. Which should be what you want when you make a game. Make game, sell a lot of copies, make money. Right? That sounds normal to me. Following among numerous gamers praising the game for not being gay or woke. You can also blame China for that one. Which is weird. When China is more based than the Westerners, what's happening? I don't understand anything. I understand nothing. Fully fumed. On August 21st, PvT's Instagram page shared news of Wukong breaking Steam's single-player record, and the comments are full of answering replies from fans. The game isn't inclusive, because it's not gay or woke, and top comment reads, which at the time of writing has nearly 4,000 likes. So proud of this game that doesn't support any genders or sexual orientations, unlike the other games nowadays. Another user said, the common sentiment is that liberals are in tears, and it sounds like right-wing gamers couldn't be happier. The thing is, because I do believe people get lost in the sauce, it happens to everyone. The thing is, it's not because it's right-wing, it's not right-wing game. It's just because it's a political game. As in, it lacks politics. Real-world politics, at least. They may have in-game politics, I don't know, I didn't play the game. Also, I'm pretty sure the game is kind of demanding, so I don't know if I would be able to play with my rig. I guess I should be able, I have a pretty good computer, but I don't know. I haven't seen the specs in general. But the thing is, yes, people want games that are just fun, that are normal. This game also looks really good, graphics-wise, which is not something I care too much, but it's nice to look at. And I don't know, man, people just don't understand it. Do not beat me in my games with bullshit from real life. I don't care. It's just that easy. Polygon unleashed his anger at game science despite giving the game an 8 out of 10 and claiming it's fantastic. That's funny. That's funny, but I guess the guy is not being biased in the reviews, so... Holy shit, that's good? Do we have to praise a game journal? What year is it? Did I die? Is this hell? Is this heaven? I don't understand. It must be a limbo. He wrote, but after 40 plus hours, I've yet to encounter a single female character, aside from one inanimate mini-boss called the Mother of Stone. And no one can convince me that's a good thing. Okay, hold up. Once again, I haven't played the game, but aren't most characters like monsters? Like rat people, like demon people and such? Shit, the protagonist is just monkey people, you know? So weird. Also pretty sure there are several female characters. I've seen screenshots at least. From there he cites a highly skeptical study that claims 10%. Ah, shit, it wasn't this one. What a beautiful duang, you know? It claims 10% of all people live disorder, rainbow lifestyles. This idea that 10% of all people live disorder, rainbow lifestyles was refuted by the American Life League, who announced this statistic originated from flawed research conducted by Alfred Kinsey in 1948. It's being almost 60. I was about to say 60, and that's wrong. It's being almost 80 years. It keeps happening. But they will never lie to you, right? The organization noted, Kinsey's research represents a classic example of looking for data to support a preordained set of desirable conclusions. Christian Legman, what a name. The original compiler for Kinsey's pornography collection revealed that Kinsey's not very secret intention was to respectabilize homosexuality and certain sexual perversions. Did he actually say sexual perversions? Okay, I'm just reading as it is written here, okay? He did not hesitate to extrapolate his utterly inadequate and inconclusive samplings to the whole population of the United States, not to say the world. It's pure propaganda, and it's ridiculously far from the mathematical or statistical science pretended. In fact, American Life League notes that research conducted by Tom W. Smith showed that 93% of the American population has been exclusively heterosexual since the age of 18. 5 to 6% consider themselves bisexual, and only 1% call themselves exclusively homosexual. Funny how that works. Furthermore, it notes, even the King's Institute finally released the comprehensive results of its 1970. Okay. Better late than never, I guess. Poll after 20 years admitted that it found that less than 2% of all males had participated in homosexual activities in the last year. There could be reasons for that, so I don't know how trustworthy this testing is, you know. We will need to see the definition of homosexual activity to properly understand. They don't say it. We can only take that at face value. Nevertheless, Foley uses this new survey to claim that diverse games appeal to more players. Do they? Do they though? Do they? Really? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't think they do. Which can improve sales by helping developers tap into new markets. Are you sure about that? I don't know what to tell you, man. He also adds, diverse games feel more relatable to a broader audience and satisfy the community's growing demand for inclusivity in the industry. It's really funny that they say this when we're talking about monkey game. What are you trying to imply here, Foleyman? Mr. Foleyman? I have no clue. Ironically, his previous examples of players not wanting diversity in the game contradicts his claims here. Furthermore, even he admits that Black Myth Wukong broke the record for the most concurrent players for a single-player game on Steam. More than 2 million. That was massive. And he accuses them of not being diverse enough. I think it's working for them. Don't know what to tell you. I think it's working for them. I don't think they want to pull these numbers. Also, at the same time, we have to admit that this Chinese game, and believe me or not, Chinese, really traditional. They're really traditional with their stuff. If you go, as far as I know, I haven't tried myself, but as far as I know, if you go to Chinese TikTok, I think it has a different name, you see a bunch of stuff about science, math, technology, traditional values. Traditional values. Do we have to do another rundown of Confucianism? It's fun, but I think people are prepared for that. I'm not prepared for that now, to be fair. But it's no wonder this is happening in the Chinese game. Also, have you seen the gacha games? They look really nice. If anything, they look really nice. Where was I? I have no idea. I'm gonna start reading again from here. There was room for diversity in Black Myth Wukong, and the developer simply chose to ignore it. I don't think I read that one. That's fine. He then claims that the game that features an anthropomorphic monkey as its main character is in reality a straight male. I mean, we can assume it's a male from the voice. Still monkey, I don't know what to tell you. He wrote, when the developer elects to only feature straight male characters, it sends a message that diversity isn't important, or worse, that it's a bad thing. I do agree with this message, to be fair. I do agree with this. This role toxic community members who share the same opinion, encouraging passionate gamers to go for each other's throats. Fully bemoaned. The throats, they're so tasty. Bishop Robert Barron. Is he an actual bishop? That would be impressive. Explains, notes that equity, diversity, and inclusivity are not absolute values, which Foley seems to believe given his condemnation of game science for spreading a message that diversity isn't important. He explains that equity, diversity, and inclusion function as fundamental norms, self-evident moral truths of absolute value that ought to guide our behavior at both the personal and institutional level, However, he notes this is not right. This is just left. But whatever plays the determining role must be good in itself, valuable in every and any circumstance, incapable of being positioned by higher value. Neither equity, diversity, nor inclusion enjoy these prerogatives, and this can be shown readily enough. Yeah? Yeah. Look at that! Not everyone follows the same religion as you. Having to say that in current year. I should be surprised, but I'm not. I'm just disappointed. And specifically, addressing diversity, Bishop Baron. Is he an actual bishop? I don't think he is, right? I mean that it is a moral value, but it's not an absolute value. But is it an absolute value? Not at all. And a moment's reflection makes this plain. When the any is one-sidedly emphasized, we lose any sense of the values and practices that ought to unite us. That's kind of convoluted, but I can see it. Because at the end of the day, DEI is not a value, it's just a political tool. Try to tell you this, it's how it works. It's not good. He elaborates this service in distress today on the individual's right to determine his or her own values and truths. But only if you have the right ones, I guess. Even to the point of dictating one's own gender and sexuality. This hyper-valorization of diversity effectively imprisons each of us on our own separate islands of self-regard and gives rise to constant bickering. Holy shit, ain't that the truth, baby? We'll only demand that our decisions be respected and our stances tolerated, but the ties that bind us to one another are gone. Clearly, follies indeed acting, as Bishop Baron notes. Yep. Dogmas. Keeps happening. Not Dragon's Dogma. That's a different game. This is Monkey Game. Finally, and ironically, after hating gamers and spreading Discord and divisiveness, Foley concludes his article by condemning himself. Catalyzing a divide between gamers is terrible for the industry. And who is to blame? Foley, my man. We are sharing a common hobby, and we should stand together to make sure as many people can enjoy it as possible. Some people will enjoy it for the wrong reasons. Keeps happening. The world is divisive enough. There are countless conflicts happening around us that lead to tragic losses of life every day. Gaming is an escape from the tumultuous world we live in. We shouldn't be carrying hate into that what should be a safe space for everyone, he concluded. Fuck safe spaces though. But at the same time, who is making it? Is making it. That the tumultuous world we live in is put into the gaming space. Huh? Riddle me this one, Batman. Why do you make a false attack on game science and black myth Wukong? I think he's just ignorant. Or he just wants propaganda, I guess. We all love the propaganda. But at the end of the day, it's just not propaganda against propaganda. It should be propaganda against the lack of propaganda, right? If you're going to make a game that is blatantly right-wing, for example, it's also going to be bad. Sorry to tell you this, it's also going to be bad. Ah man, I need to go to the restroom. So, you know something that happens a lot. Let me pull this up. Let me hide myself. Yeah, let me mute. I'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. No ads. We don't have those here. I'm back. I'm back. I'm pretty sure that was more than 2 minutes. Been drinking a lot lately. I've been feeling really dry. It's rough out here. It's really rough. Also, yeah. They're eating pasta yesterday and chicken today. Of course I'm gonna be, you know, a little bit dry. It happens. It's me. It's me, let me... There I go. There I go. Oh man, it feels so much better. Feels so much better now. Oh man. Now, speaking of people not understanding changes. Capcom removes male and female armor from Monster Hunter Wilds. Will continue to offer male voices for female characters and vice versa. Capcom announced that they have removed male and female armor for their upcoming Monster Hunter Wilds. Also, I need to stop my fan. There you go. It's hot in here, you know. And will continue to allow players to have male voices for female characters and vice versa. Don't you mean body type 2? Come on now. During the Monster Hunter Wilds developer livestream at Gamescom earlier this week, Monster Hunter producer Ryuto Tsujimo, executive director and art director Kanami Fujioka, and game director Yuya Tokuta demoed the game. At the beginning of the presentation, Tsujimo discussed the game's character creation through a translator. For anyone who says this string is concerned that there's simplified character creation, don't worry, this is just for the show floor demo version to make things go quickly. That makes sense, come on now, that makes sense. We made some preset characters for you to choose, but the full game has detailed character creator that you've come to know and love, I suppose. No one live would be a strange thing to say. We've also included voices by default on each character today. Okay, I don't know what I was reading there, but I must have a stroke. For the full game, you will be able to choose the voice that you want to have on your hunter. Holy fucking ass, for a second I saw this and I thought this was Ronald McDonald. I'm Macus Maxing now, baby. Macus! This is not new, given that Monster Hunter Rise, which released in 2021, also had this option and had removed the distinction between male and female characters, referring to them as Type 01 and Type 02. Hold up, if they have 2 digits, this implies at least 10 different body types. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Can we play as a cat? That'd be nice. Like a full-grown cat, not just as a... What are they called again? Holy shit, my brain. But yeah, not as a palico, right? That could be cool. That could be really uncanny. That's fine. A little bit later in the demo, one of the developer states, you can see I'm choosing my armor here. In previous Monster Hunter games you had male and female armor. In previous Monster Hunter games you had male and female armor was separate. Okay. You have too many words here, that's fine. I happen to confirm that Monster Hunter Wilds there's no more male and female armor. All characters can wear any gear. Capcom's community manager, Gino Stanton, then added, "That's awesome! Fashion game is officially the end game." You know what they say, you know what they say. Around blue hairs, protect yourselves. He later added, "Now in Monster Hunter Wilds, no matter how you choose to build your hunter, what they look like, any of their more sets in the game, they can use as long as you have the monster parts." I guess he's referring to both styles of armor here, but it is a really weird way of explaining it. So that's incredible. We know the community have been wondering if this would be the case, so I cannot wait to see what the community cook up when they get their hands on it in 2025. The developers didn't go into detail on how this will work, but it's not hard to imagine that male characters will now be able to wear boob armor and bikini. And bikini armor, my bad. With female characters wear male armor. In Monster Hunter Rise, male and female armors were distinct, as can be seen in the below video from Eric's Gaming. And they were distinct, we'll know that. You can see her more S armor for male, fully clothed. The character in plate male. S, not suit, yeah, makes sense. With a closed helmet, while the female character has a bare midriff and thigh section, and bikini top, an open helmet with wings. Again, based on the comments from the developers indicating there's no more gender restrictions on armor, one can see how the Remover S armor for females can now be used for male characters. It's not surprising this change is being made, given Capcom already removed male and female gender selections, and allowed players to have male characters with female voices and vice versa. This is clearly the slippery slope of transgender ideology, something that Capcom does indeed embrace. I had to take a sip here. So dry lately, holy shit. And let's be real, Capcom has been drinking the DEI juice for a long ass time. And my biggest complaint here, and people don't understand, because God forbid people know how to read, is that this feels bland, okay? I don't want two equal sets with different looks. Have them be a little bit different mechanics-wise. A single skill point that is different, some defense that is different. Maybe you could take a page from the gunner sets from back in the day and have one with a little bit lower defense but a little bit higher elemental defense, so you can have more nuance also with the mechanics of the game. There has always been weird sets in Monster Hunter, after all. And if that's not the case, it's really easy to believe this is just for pandering. Just for pandering. I'm always a stats over looks, what can you say? I'm that guy. The company's localization team posted on Twitter back in April. I don't know if we saw this on April. Maybe, it's been a while. Localization efforts extend to promoting inclusivity through language and representation. This involves adapting not only the linguistic aspects, but also addressing gender-specific language, cultural norms, and diverse perspectives. Hold up. Cultural norms? Okay. Easy to understand. Gender-specific language. I guess really depends on the language. There's perspectives though. What do you mean by this? What are you trying to tell me? The aim is to create an immersive experience where players from different backgrounds can identify with the characters and narrative. This can be very challenging for certain languages due to grammar. I don't believe this is a cope. This seems to be a cope to me. Also, identify with the characters and narrative. Let's say Monster Hunter. You're just a guy hunting big monsters. How is that difficult to identify given your different background? I don't get it. And let's say Resident Evil 4. You're an American guy fighting a bunch of zombies in Spain. I guess you're not supposed to identify yourself with Leon Kennedy if you're not American? Or even better, are you supposed to identify with the zombies if you're from Spain? That is strange to me. That is strange to me. Yeah, they have the screenshot here. The company has promoted its game Extra Primal with drag queens, deer and bitch pudding on Twitch in 2023. This gentleman. Bob Francis recently explained how this ideological movement is attempting to destroy humanity itself. I think that's a typo. Also, I'm not a big fan of the Pope. He's kind of a commie. Sorry to tell you this, guys. I'm not a big fan of the Pope. He's kind of a commie. He said, it is very important to have this meeting between men and women, because today the ugliest danger is gender ideology, which nullifies differences, and through those differences is to raise humanity. I could play it, I'm pretty sure he just says literally this, but in Italian? I don't know if it's Italian or Latin. They all sound the same to me. Why did you make this change from Capcom for Monster Hunter Wilds? Let me hide this. Yeah. That was me! Let me hide this. We could have not good words here, you know? Yeah, we cannot go lower than this. They get a little bit too silly here. That would be nice. Let's see what the experts think. So forth, but the changes and the interview. Freaks. Rough. Let's have the older Monster Hunters. Fuck woke Capcom. Capcom is always hitting a miss. It's very impressive. Having here a huge fight because, oh my god, Monkey Game is China. We know it's China, but at least the game is good. Right? But the Chinese developers are now here with the likes of Black Myth Wukong, Phantom Blade Zero, and the Winds Myth, etc. And as Black Myth showed, they are not interested in appealing to the West's degeneracy or obsession with gender identity politics. They're just interested in developing actually good games. Once again, at least, Monkey Game seems good. They only have Japanese game developers submitted to Western identity politics. Most of their games are like Western games now, from a gameplay perspective. Not perceptive, right? That would make sense to me. And too little to change between sequels. Therefore, they have fallen low. There's a few exceptions like Nintendo, etc. But most have fallen from grace. Nintendo's really hitting a miss too. Really depends on the game. Capcom are a woke DI company. Monster Hunter's keeping them afloat, so this garbage game belongs on a blacklist. And obviously, we have the. Probably this is the best. I think this was the newest. That's fine. But with your wallet and playtime, watch time, and you have all the power. Don't support censorship while DIEG bridge indoctrination propaganda. They're mentioning bridge here. This guy knows his stuff. So Nintendo and Xbox is dead. Play on PC. And there's always ways to get the stuff that you like, if you disagree with it. And let's be real. I've been critical of Monster Hunter for a long time now, and I don't like most of the changes they're making. Probably one of the worst was the weapon swap. Not because of the weapon swap itself, because I think that's okay, actually. That could be pretty interesting, depending how it works at the end of the day. There can be some restrictions that make it really not that viable, and that would be sad. But the fact that you can just buff yourself with Hunting Horn and change to a different weapon, that seems like a bad idea to me. Why are you keeping the buffs from a different weapon? You wouldn't get the buffs from the Spirit Blades from the Longsword. You wouldn't get the buffs from the Archdemon mode. You wouldn't get the buffs from the Power Axe mode. So on and so forth. Not a big fan of that one. Not a big fan of that one. And once again, they're hellbent on the narrative. I'm fine with no narrative. I prefer the game with no narrative. I'm gonna be that guy. What can you say? Not a big fan of that. Especially when you see the characters. I'm not a big fan of these characters in general. No, they look pretty weird. I don't think I was not talking about this. Okay. Nor the Pope. Some of them look really weird. Some of the animations look really strange. And yes, I understand that. Sure, this is just a demo, so some stuff can change, but yeah, once again, I'm reminded that nothing good came from Monster Hunter since World, including World. I saw a guy um, comparing World to Persona 5, I think, oh yeah, now we have the same kind of people in the fandom. Funny how that works. Speaking of things that are changing, and not for the best, this was hard to read. The Crow star Bill Skarsgård says stepping into the role of Eric Draven was daunting, but the film is so different. From Brandon Lee's, my bad. We're not remaking that movie. Yes, you are. Sorry to tell you this. Yes, you are. It is the same story, probably. I haven't seen the movie yet. It is the same character. It's not looking good for you. If it was like a spiritual sequel, sure, but that doesn't seem to be the case. A remake of 1994 film is finally ready for the theaters after a decade of limbo between the living and the dead, much like the main character Eric Draven. That's funny. Bill Skarsgård plays him in this time and is the third person to step into the long coat and mime makeup after the late Brandon Lee and the crime Freeman himself, Mark Dacascos. So I'm not the first one to fill those shoes, Skarsgård reminded people, turned both the Cascos and the in the TV series Crow, Their Way to Heaven, and the prior sequels, City of Angels, Salvation, and Wicked Prayer, yeah, with an R. All of those were received rather poorly, but the version everyone remembers starred Lee in his last performance. It's a fantastic movie. I watched it again earlier this year. Fantastic movie, holy shit, so good. It even looks good. An iconic performance, it's reaching thing that happened with Brandon, Skarsgård said. And for me, I approach this like I do any other job, like, what's this story? How can I do the story justice? Sorry man, they play you a little bit. I don't think it's this guy's fault. Doing justice to the part meant leaving Lee's portrayal alone and going in as different a direction as possible. And now copying the original, according to Skarsgård, which models the idea that the Scroll is a remake. Reimagining, I guess. We were not remaking that movie, and that was never the intention, he said. I feel like that movie and his performance is iconic and shouldn't be tampered with at all. Well, I do agree with that, to be fair. So I'm glad that we tried to do something very different with it. So it's like a rewriting of the story? Doesn't look good, not gonna lie. However, there's nothing based in here. On an official synopsis and the trailers, the new film stays true to the formula. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric sets out to seek merciless revenge on their killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. Recent description provided by people. Furthermore, Skarsgård might not have tried to channel Lee. The fatally wounded actor was in everyone's mind, says director Robert Sanders. Talking to Vanity Fair, Sanders said that his soul is very much alive in this film, and his terrible tragedy was definitely something that we always had in mind through the making of the film. That seems like a bunch of lip service. Just a bunch of lip service. I don't know how to feel about this. There's a real fragility and beauty to this version of the Crow. I don't think Bill feels like he is a successor to that, Sanders added. Brandon was an original voice, and I think he will always be synonymous with the Crow. I hope he's proud of what we've done, and how we've brought the story back again. Nice sentiment? Probably not. I'll need to see some reviews. Oh boy, I can't wait for the part in the new improved The Crow when the Crow puts on his rock costume and then goes, "It's crowing time!" When I think of all this original The Crow, is that crab you smell? Spin harder, Skarsgård. I don't think the damage control is working. It's not working. It's so bad. Like the actor on some of the scenes from the trailer look good, but unfortunately it's just the bastardized version of the Crow. It's more like the comic version than the 94 movie. That's fair then, that's fair. You have to admit too that it's nowadays, so it's a little bit worth noticing that the girlfriend is a minority. Funny how that works. Nothing wrong with that, but you have to wonder if they have other motives for that, you know? I don't accuse them of anything. I'm just wondering. Could be the case, but maybe it's not. It's more than fine. And now, we have a bunch of random news here. Some of them good, some of them perhaps not that good. I do believe they're at least interesting. From AnimeHunch.com, UN cybersecurity draft excludes anime and manga from censorship of content involving children. Japan had strong concerns that the regulations would be imposed on non-real content, including anime and manga, according to the new law. It's looking good, but still, we have to be careful. A draft of the United Nations Cybercrime Convention, a landmark effort to frame international legislation to combat cybercrime, was unanimously approved by UN members at the end of a two-week session in New York, August 9th, 2024. The treaty now head to the United Nations General Assembly. Ongo? Is this real? This seems like a psyop to me. For a vote is quite significant regarding its implications for freedom of expression, especially in the context of anime and manga. The 41-page draft proposes a legislative framework designed to enhance international cooperation among law enforcement agencies and provide technical assistance to countries with inadequate infrastructure to combat cybercrime. It addresses various issues, and among them is online child sexual abuse material, CSAM. A critical aspect of the treaty is its requirement for member states to criminalize activities involving CSAM, which makes sense. Defined broadly to include any material that depicts or describes sexual activity involving minors. The treaty's provisions and what it means for anime and manga. Japanese MP Toru Yamada has been a vocal advocate for protecting freedom of expression within the framework of the treaty. On August 8, 2024, he announced via social media that a critical clause, provision to limit for real persons in Article 14, Paragraph 3, remained in the treaty. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Just drivers. You don't have to like them, but they just shouldn't be illegal. Just that easy. I think it's easy to understand. This clause provides member states with the flexibility to exclude non-real content, such as anime and manga, from being classified as cybercrimes under the treaty. This means that lolis, shotas, and other hentai/doujinshi content in anime and manga, with inappropriate depiction of children, won't be regulated under the law of this treaty. However, Yamada warned that the battle is not over, as Japan's ratification and domestic legal adjustments will still lead to the inclusion of non-real content in the regulations. Oh man, even the non-real content, so ass. Yamada highlighted his efforts working closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs since 2021 to ensure that non-real content would not be affected by the treaty, which makes sense. Once again, just drawings. You don't have to like them, but they are not real. Yamada's concerns stem from the potential for countries like China to push for global regulation of content, particularly Japanese manga, anime, and games. Like China? Yeah, not the biggest fan of that one. Yet there are parties to the treaty, including Japan, had strong concerns that significant regulations would be imposed on images, documents, and audio, including non-real content, thereby infringing on freedom of expression. In particular, China has advocated for strengthening global regulations, targeting Japanese manga, anime, and games. So I'm guessing this is just China wanting to be the sole provider for entertainment in the West. We might be commies, but you like our entertainment, right guys? Which can be also really dangerous. Once again, they have good product, it is still China though. It do be still China. Although the draft of the treaty has been finalized, we cannot relax just yet. There are still risks at the stages of Japan's ratification and domestic legal adjustments. Those who wish to impose expression regulations are likely to target this stage. So as. The battle will now continue within Japan, Yamada said in his post on Twitter. Originally, in 2001, the Council of Europe adopted a different cybercrime treaty, which had been ratified by 75 countries. I don't think Europe is that big. Including Japan and the United States. Yeah, I don't think Japan and the US are in Europe. Hey, cool. Well, the US is, kinda. However, Russia, which had not ratified the treaty, claimed that it was incomplete, being a product of Western countries, and argued that a comprehensive new treaty was necessary. That makes sense. The greater controversy and further implications. Ah, baby, there we go. The ongoing debate over content regulation in Japan extends beyond the UN treaty. Several Japanese media platforms, particularly those related to anime, have recently suspended or removed the ability to use Visa and MasterCard for payments, due to demands from these companies to remove explicit content. You will do as they tell you, and once again, make no mistake about it, this is not a huge reach to say, remember, ESG is inside economy now. It's literally a social credit score, and it's already working. I'm not saying this is ESG, but it sure looks like it. Nico Nico is a recent example of such case. King Akamatsu, founder of Mangalore Sea. Name sounds really familiar, I don't know why. Is this the guy that became a politician? Ah, shit, I don't know. It's been a while. We can look it up later. Now I'm curious. He also expressed concerns about the increasing demands from international credit card companies to stop distributing content containing specific keywords. You would think it's your money and you can do with it whatever you want. But actually you can't. Nakamatsu noted that while similar demands had been made before, the current situation is unprecedented in its severity. He warned that if these demands are not addressed, they could lead to broader restrictions on other forms of expression, potentially impacting Japan's entire content industry. That was a silly mistake on my part. Yeah, we all remember the Pixiv stuff not that long ago. When was it? Just like a couple of months ago? It's rough out here, though. It's really rough out here. Oh man. Mangalore Sea, launched by Akamatsu in 2011, was created to digitize out-of-print works, giving them new life as a source of income for authors. That's actually really cool. Because if they're out of print, then good luck getting them. Oh, second-hand market. Yeah. Sure, really expensive. That's pretty nice. Okay, before going to the next thing, let me look up King Akamatsu. Japanese bank artist and politician who has served since 2022 as a member of the House of Councillors. Yes, he's the author of Love Hina, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yep. Love Hina and Negima. That's cool. That's cool. Classic author. Absolutely classic. Oh man, I'm starting to feel the brain rot from the song. Let's go down here. Through Yamada's efforts with Visa, in line with the situation, on August 1st, 2024, 3 weeks ago, Yamada met with Visa's headquarters in San Francisco, because obviously, to discuss the credit card regulations affecting Japanese content platforms. During the meeting, Visa representatives clarified that widely established criteria for transactions, they do not make value judgments on legal content. Do we believe them? I don't know about that one. They emphasized that decisions regarding adult content are based on universal criteria, such as compliance with age-related rules and consensual prohibition of content. These have denied issuing instructions to regulate transactions based on the specific terms, a significant point in the ongoing debate over content regulation. Yeah, assuming that is true. Assuming that is true. I'm pretty sure there was some new developments about that lately. I did not keep up with them. Yaman expressed gratitude for business transparency and commitment to continued dialogue, but he also indicated plans to verify with code acquirers and payment services providers, who are likely making the on-site decisions regarding content regulation. I do believe it was payment service providers. I might be wrong. As I said, I did not keep up with it, but that would make sense to me. As the UN Cybercrime Treaty heads to the General Assembly for a vote, the outcome will have far-reaching implications for anime and manga. While the treaty's current draft offers some protection for non-real content, the domestic ratification process in Japan remains a critical battleground for freedom of expression. Yeah, keeps happening. A recent bill by a Japanese politician calling for censorship of anime and manga, among others, presented as an example of this. So bad. They're obsessed with fucking censorship, dude. I wonder why. However, anime and manga industry has historically voted against such censorship laws, and in Japan and its anime, manga, and game industry should relatively come out unscathed from it. I guess. We can assume. We can assume. Once again, we can win! We can win, baby. It's positive, but it's still looking kind of bleak. It's not the best, man. It's not the best. Far from the best, actually. Fucking got oh my god. Payment service providers. It's my money, you bitch. Let me use it. Speaking of stupid things. This government report says fluoride at twice the recommended limit is linked to lower IQ in kids. They are putting chemicals in the water. It's not a meme. It's actually happening. To be fair, this can actually happen naturally, but yes, fluoride is a chemical. Haha, funny joke. The US government report, expected to stir debate, concluded that fluoride in drinking water at twice the recommended limit is linked with lower IQ in children. Did you think kids were stupid? Maybe you're right, but only maybe. The report, based on analysis of previously published research, marks the first time a federal agency has determined, with moderate confidence, I don't know how to feel about that moderate confidence though, there's a link between higher levels of fluoride exposure and lower IQ in kids. While the report was not designed to evaluate the health effects of fluoride in drinking water alone, it is a striking acknowledgement of a potential neurological risk from high levels of fluoride. Fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear. But too much is bad, and that's the deal with this. I remember back in the day, having to do stuff with fluoride in school was not good. That was kind of nasty, you know. Ah, it's good for the teeth. Just give me toothpaste with fluoride, it's fine. But I'm pretty sure most of them have it nowadays, at least. According to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the addition of low levels of fluoride to drinking water has long been considered one of the greatest public health achievements of the last century. I think this report is crucial in our understanding of the risk, said Ashley Malin, a University of Florida researcher who has studied the effect of higher fluoride levels in pregnant women on their children. She called it the most rigorously conducted report of its kind. Well, that sounds good to me. It's kind of long, it gets a little bit too scientific, but it's simple enough that we understand. Fluoride too much? Bad. The long-awaited report, released Wednesday, comes from the National Toxicology Program, part of the Department of Health and Human Services. It summarizes a review of studies conducted in Canada, China, India, Iran, Pakistan, and Mexico. that concludes that drinking water containing more than 1.5 milligrams of fluoride per liter is consistently associated with lower IQs in kids. And yeah, 1.5 milligrams per liter, super low. Super low, it's nothing, honestly. The report did not try to quantify exactly how many IQ points might be lost at different levels of fluoride exposure, but some of the studies reviewed in the report suggested IQ was 2 to 5 points lower in children who had higher exposures. Exposures. In 2015, federal health officials have recommended a fluoridation level of 0.7 milligrams per liter of water. And for 5 decades before, the recommended upper range was 1.2. Okay. Maybe a little bit too high. The World Health Organization has set the safe limit for fluoride in drinking water of 1.5. The report said that about 0.6% of the US population, about 1.9 million people, are water systems with naturally occurring fluoride levels of 1.5 milligrams or higher. Tap water, not even once, I guess. The findings from this report raise the questions about how these people can be protected and what makes the most sense, Malin said. The 324 holy shit page report did not reach a conclusion about the risks of lower levels of fluoride, saying more studies needed. It also did not answer what high levels of fluoride might do to adults. Important to know too, to be fair. The American Dental Association, which champions water fluoridation, had been critical of earlier versions of the new analysis and Malin's research. As for her comment, a spokeswoman late Wednesday afternoon emailed that the organization's experts were still reviewing the report. Fluoride is a mineral that exists naturally in water and soil. About 80 years ago, scientists discovered that people whose water supplies naturally had more fluoride also had fewer cavities, triggering a push to get more Americans to use fluoride for better dental health. That sounds more than reasonable. With some limits, as we see here. In 1945, Grand Rapids, Michigan, became the first US city to start adding fluoride to tap water. In 1950, federal officials endorsed water fluoridation. I have a lot of trouble with that word, okay? To prevent tooth decay, and continue to promote it even after fluoride toothpaste brands hit the market several years later. I wonder if we actually need fluoride in the water nowadays. Probably not, right? Unless you had to use like really specific toothpaste, which can happen to some people, I assume. Though fluoride can come from a number of sources, drinking water is the main source for Americans, researchers say. That makes sense. Officials lowered their recommendations for drinking water fluoride levels in 2015, that's not that long ago, to address a tooth condition called fluorosis, which is funny. It can cause splotches in teeth and was becoming more common in US kids. Overcorrection. You hate to see it. Separately, the Environmental Protection Agency has maintained a longer-standing requirement that water systems cannot have more than 4 milligrams of fluoride per liter. That's way too high. That is way too high. A standard is designed to prevent skeletal fluorosis, a potential crippling disorder which causes weaker bones, stiffness, and pain. Oh, that sounds horrible. But more and more studies have increasingly pointed to a different problem, suggesting a link between higher levels of fluoride and brain development. It's always the brain. Researchers wonder about the impact on developing fetuses and very young children who might ingest water with baby formula. It's probably happening. And that makes sense to me. Okay, not trying to chastise anyone here. Studies in animals showed fluoride could impact neurochemistry cell function in brain regions responsible for learning, memory, executive function, and behavior. And if you've seen, which I don't think this is the case, but it could be an interesting link if that was the case, all those accusations of elementary school teachers saying that kids, are having a lot of trouble to properly learn and to properly read. Some people say it's because of the goof. I don't know. It could be a little bit of both, maybe. Also, at the same time, they mentioned like 1.9 million people in the US, so maybe it's not this one. But you see, similar symptoms, which is not good. In 2006, the National Research Council, a private non-profit organization in Washington, D.C., said limited evidence from China pointed to neurological effects in people exposed to high levels of fluoride. They called for more research into the effect of fluoride on intelligence. Even China is aware. We have a lot of China today. What's happening? Is it because we monkey now? Monkey! After more research continued to raise questions, the National Toxicology Program in 2016 started working on a review of the available studies that could provide guidance on whether new fluoride limiting measures were needed. Probably. I'm going to assume probably. There were earlier drafts, but the final document has repeatedly been held up. At one point, a committee of experts said available research did not support earlier draft conclusions. Do we have to blame big fluoride now? Is it that bad? I don't think so, but holy shit, it seems like it. Since fluoride is such an important topic to the public and to public health officials, it was imperative that we made every effort to get the science right. That's fair. That's fair. Said Rick Wojcik, I don't know, director of the National Toxicology Program, in a statement. Malin said it makes sense for pregnant women to lower their fluoride intake, not only from water, but also from certain types of tea. Interesting. Bread bunks in shambles. It may also make sense to have policy discussions about whether to require fluoride content on beverage labels, she said. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. This is just too Associated Press. It's funny. It's funny. Once again, we're reminded they're actually putting chemicals in the water. They're putting chemicals in the water! And there are also some other chemicals that reach the water supply, even if it was not on purpose. Right? Once again, as a lot of people say, well, obviously, you know, they keep giving medication to women, and that medication ends up flushing out and going back to the water. And yes, water treatment plants do not work with that, which is a little bit sad, but you know, it happens. And for the last thing for today, do you believe in Jesus? Maybe. You need to start to. French Shroud study claims controversial cloth does date to the time of Jesus. A team of Italian researchers have entered the debate over the Shroud of Turin, the landing cloth believed by some to have been Jesus Christ's burial shroud. In a study published in the journal Heritage, the authors conducted dating work. Dating? An example from the shroud, come to the conclusion that it may be a 2,000-year-old relic. The shroud, which has long been the subject of intense scrutiny, features a faint image of a man that some believe is the body of Jesus, miraculously imprinted into the cloth. When the latest study does not discuss the question of whether or not the artifact was indeed Jesus' burial shroud, the others did find that its age is roughly consistent with this time. It's pretty interesting. The findings challenge previous research reporting a medieval origin of the shroud, which is one of the most studied archaeological objects in the world, with reason. While some studies have come to the conclusion that the artifact might be genuine, the scientific consensus leans towards the shroud being a medieval artifact and a forgery. I don't think it would be easy to forge this in medieval times, from what I've seen. The shroud was denounced as a forgery by Bishop of Troyes, Pierre de Ressis, in 1389, who allegedly identified the artist responsible. Nevertheless, the debate is ongoing, with uncertainties and alternative viewpoints resisting, hampering a definitive conclusion regarding its authenticity. Among the research indicating a medieval origin for the shroud is pivotal radiocarbon study conducted in the late 80s, 1980s, obviously, which concluded that the line dates to between AD 1260 and 1390, corresponding with the artifact's first documented appearance in France in the 1350s. These results indicated that it was not the burial cloth of Jesus, but some experts, such as the authors of the heritage study, argued that these tests might have been flawed due to contamination. Such arguments revolving the contamination hypothesis have previously been challenged as well. In the heritage study, lead researcher Liberate De Caro, Italian I suppose, from the Institute of Crystallography in Italy, yeah, Italian, and Caldius employed the novel method for dating ancient linen threads by inspecting their structural degradations using a technique known as wide-angle X-ray scattering. This was applied to a small sample from the shroud, which currently resides in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. The author said the results of their analysis were fully compatible with analogous measurements obtained from a linen sample whose dating, according to historical records, is AD 55 to 74, and consistent with the hypothesis that the shroud is a 2,000-year-old relic. The authors note that the results are only compatible with this hypothesis under the condition that the artifact was kept at suitable levels of average temperature, around 20 to 22.5 Celsius, or 68 to 72.5 Fahrenheit, and a relative humidity of 55 to 75% for 13 centuries of unknown history, in addition to 7 centuries of known history in Europe. Since the results do not agree with previous radiocarbon dating research, the author said a more accurate and systematic X-ray investigation of samples taken from the Turin shroud fabric would be mandatory to confirm the conclusions of our study, and that makes a lot of sense. But to think that it might actually be real, that's insane to me. That is insane to me. Maybe Jesus was real after all. Maybe Christianity is the correct religion. That's funny. That's funny how it works. Real interesting stuff here. Holy shit. Not bad at all, man, not bad at all. And it's getting late, so I think it's time for me to take my leave. We had good sessions today, I would say. A little bit of everything, you know. Pretty good stuff out here. Oh, man. Anyway, time for me to take my leave. So everyone, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you had a good time here, reading about a bunch of nonsense as per usual. And I will see you all soon on Monday. Probably more Hacker's Memory. Still need to grind a lot, but it happens. You see. Anyway, you know the rules. Take care. And until the next time.